Good year, though, man. I went out, also got me a retirement. Got me one of those retirement plans I kept hearing about. You got a retirement, sir? Yes. No? Oh, you're just rolling the dice. All right. I'm out there, man. I got a retirement. And I'm a comedian. We're not supposed to have a retirement. We're just supposed to, like, die in a hotel room. That's what the guy at the bank said. He goes, I thought you were supposed to, like, die in a Hampton Inn. And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying something different. So let's give me one of those retirements, you know? So I went in there, I got a traditional IRA, because I don't know anything. He goes, do you want a Roth or a traditional? And I'm like, I enjoy a missionary position. Let's go traditional. Let's make eye contact during this retirement. So I got a traditional IRA. I thought it was going to be a great experience, going in, getting a retirement. I'll be like, oh, good, I'll be taken care of in my later years. It wasn't that. It was a really depressing interview. That's all it was. It was super depressing. His first question out of the gates, he goes, well, when are you going to retire? And I'm like, I don't know. What are people saying? You know, like, when's everyone else retiring? And I know you're not supposed to live your life that way. Like, oh, if everyone jumps off a bridge, are you? Yeah, I'm not going to be lonely up there. Just some sad, lonely man walking around on a bridge by himself. I'm going with everybody else. So I'm like, well, when's everyone else retiring? And he goes, well, a lot of people now are saying 68. And I'm like, all right, put me down for 68. And then he goes, all right, now how long do you need this retirement money to last you? And I'm like, are you asking me when I'm going to die? And he didn't say yes, but he also didn't say no. He just kind of went, And I'm like, I don't know. What's everybody saying? Like, when's everybody else dying? Yeah? And he goes, well, a lot of people are saying that they need this money for 15 years after 68. And I'm like, well, what happens if I live 16 years? And that's right, I think he got annoyed because he cut me off. He goes, look, do you want it or not? And I was like, all right, I'm in. So I got a retirement. I'm retiring at 68, and I need to be dead. 15 years after that. If I live beyond that, you guys are going to be seeing some GoFundMes going up. Because I'm in some trouble. That's how it is out there. That scares me. I never really thought about how long I'm going to live until then. And I was like, man, we're going to live for a long time. All of us in this room, we're going to live for advancements in medicine. We're going to live for a lot longer than we think we are. I never really thought about it until, actually, this time last year, I was watching the George H.W. Bush funeral. And the reason I was watching that funeral is because Bob Dole's name was trending on Twitter. And the reason his name was trending on Twitter is because at 94 years old, Bob Dole stood up out of a wheelchair and saluted the former president. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm watching that video. I love heartwarming stuff like that. Like, I wake up every morning watching those dodo videos on Facebook. Are you guys into those? If you guys don't know what it is, I'll explain. A dodo, every video, they take like two adorable animals. So just take like a puppy and a duck and throw them a little baby pool, and then they play around. They'll put piano music in the background. Da-da-da-da-da, it's a puppy and a duck. They don't have parents, but they got each other, diddly-do, you know? I watch those and I cry. That's how I start my day, with a good, healthy cry, you know? So here I am on Twitter, and I'm like, they got video of 94-year-old Bob Dole standing up out of a wheelchair to salute the former president. Hell yeah, I'm watching that. I'm ready to have the cockles of my heart warmed. So I hit go on that video. I don't know if you guys saw that video. That's not what standing up looks like. Poor Bob Dole didn't stand up at all. There was a giant man next to him that picked him up against his will. It honestly didn't even look like he was trying to stand him up. It looked like he was trying to add another body to the box. Like, hey, before you seal that up, I got one more for you. Poor Bob Dole was just lifted against his will and like a marionette saluted and just jumped off and wheeled off to another activity. And I'm like, that's what 94 looks like? They never show us that. Anytime someone gets really old in the community, like if someone makes it to 100, the local news shows up, and it's some lady who's like 104, and she still takes a jazzercise class. And you're like, how'd you make it to 104? She's like, I never stopped dancing. And you're like, oh, I could do that, but not Bob Dole just being resurrected out of a wheelchair. You're just watching that going, how the hell did they get a suit on him? That looks terrifying. It's something you got to keep in mind, you know. That's good. Yeah, I've been thinking about, how long I'm going to live. I don't like the trajectory of who I'm becoming. That's already in question right there. I was thinking every year I become less patient and I complain more. I can't wait in lines. I can't do that anymore. If there's a line, I guess I'm not doing that. Plans have changed. I can't do it anymore. And I complain out loud. I used to be able to keep my complaints in my heart where it belongs, but it's coming out. Not even to anybody, just out. Just for it all, Like if you've ever been in like a crowded place, like I don't know, like a farmer's market or a mall or something, and off in the distance you just hear someone just ah, damn it! Why? And you're like, who the hell is that? That's me. That's who I've become. It's really bad. And I travel a lot, and every town I go to has like a famous burger place. Like, you could be anywhere. You could be in Davenport, Iowa, and someone will be like, oh, you've never been to Davenport? You gotta go to Slappy's Meats. That's the best burger in the whole damn state. You better get over to Slappy's Meats. And I'm like, all right, man, I like burgers. I'll go check this out. And then I go over there, and there's like a line coming out of it, and I go, oh, I guess I'll never know. And I go to a Wendy's. That's what I do. There's never a line at a Wendy's. Can't wait in lines. One time I had to pee. I was connecting at an airport. I had to pee, and I ran, and there was a line coming out of it, and to nobody I yelled, oh, I guess I'll just hold it! And I ran off. People were just turning around going, who the hell was that guy? And they just saw me stamping off. And that's me at 32. That's not good. It's not a good trajectory. All that stuff, man. I used to make fun of millennials. I used to do that until I did a Google search. And I realized I am one. Now I don't think they're that bad. That's exactly who I am right there. I'm a total hypocrite. I will make fun of a group of people till I realize I am that group of people, and then I go, come on, you guys. They're all right. If I did have to pick on millennials, I think our big issue is we're too self-aware. We know exactly what's wrong with us and why, and I don't know if that's healthy. Because nobody seems to be getting better. They just know what's wrong with them. Everyone's like, I have anxiety. And it's like, oh, what are you doing about that? Nothing, I'm telling you, so you work around it. And it's like, half the battle's won. Yeah, you established, but then... And people are too quick to tell you what their ailments are. Shut up about them a little longer, Within meeting somebody, like, I have anxiety. Because when I was 8, my brother locked me in a closet and kept me there all weekend. It's like, that's for tomorrow. That's for if we meet again tomorrow. That's not for now. We just met. And it's not like we're the first generation to have anxiety. It's just we're the first ones to look into it, Previous generations had anxiety, they just didn't know what it was. They're just like, I don't know, when I go to Costco, my cheeks tingle. And they kept it at that. They didn't have time to dig into their claustrophobia issues. This is how it goes. There are benefits, there are things about millennials I like. We've renamed things more positively, and I enjoy that. Like, I'm a 32-year-old man who lives in a studio apartment. In any other era, I'd be considered a loser, all right? But now I'm called a minimalist. How much better is that? That guy's not going through a divorce. He cares about his carbon footprint. That's what's happening here. Man's a hero. That's what it's like out there. Yeah, I live in a studio apartment. If you guys don't know what that is, that's when it's all there. All of it. I like living in a studio. I've never lost anything, Like before I came to the show, I'm like, oh, where's my wallet? Oh, there it is right there. It's so easy to find things when there aren't walls in the way. All your belongings centrally located. Pretty solid. The only time I don't like the studio is if I bring a nice young lady over. It's a little presumptuous because my bed's right there. And I don't want her to think we have to go to that area of my studio. We can keep this date in the living room kitchen quadrant. Right over here. So this is what I do to make it feel a little more comfortable. I have a quilt that my mother knit, and I put that over my bed, and I make note of it as I give a tour of my domicile from the doorway. I go, welcome, this is my studio. Right now we're in the kitchen. That's the living room area. That's my bed, but that's a quilt that my mother knit. And you can just see the tension come down in their eyes, like, everything's gonna be all right. And I'm like, of course it is. And that doesn't mean we can't go over there. Like, if the date goes really well, of course we can. We can go over there. We can fold the quilt together. Walk towards me. Fold it up, put it away, onto the sexton. You can tell by the way I said that. It doesn't happen a lot. That's the way it is. Like it. Any divorced people out there? Clap it up if you're divorced. All right. Good, happy claps. I like it. I'm going through a divorce. I didn't like to tell people, because usually when I tell people I'm going through a divorce, it'd be people going, aw. And it's like, how do you know that? You know what I mean? How do you know it's an aw situation? How do you know you shouldn't have been going, aw, when we were together? You don't know that. You're just making an assumption. I think it's because we have a negative connotation on divorce in this country, and I don't know why. Like, I remember when I first split up with my ex, I told my buddy, like, yeah, I'm going through a divorce. And my buddy's like, oh, man, sorry about your failed marriage. And I was like, ooh, you want to take a little off of that? Yikes. I'll be honest with you, I don't look at my marriage as failed. My marriage is just like your marriage. We just got through it quicker. That's all. The rest of you guys are super slow, all right? You're taking that coastal road, doing 30 miles an hour. My ex and I were on the freeway doing 90. Going, let's hurry up. We have other marriages to get to. My marriage wasn't a failure. It was efficient, is what it was.